Hello everyone and welcome to Daria Draws. Today I'm doing the second video dedicated to Doggust, so if you haven't watched the first one you can definitely do that in the link above. However, if you have, this is a video for you, and today we are doing the breed of Borzoi, or the Russian Wolfhound. I think they look extremely elegant with their long noses and long legs, but goofy at the same time. And I'm definitely switching the color palette to a more saturated one, so let's just dig right into it. Since the background color is very different from the first video and it's like a stone white color, I decided to go in with the gray marker, which is dark enough for me to see, but is not too dark if I make a mistake. And I also decided to give my pastels a certain base, so I'm applying the marker with a broad stroke just to cover the white that I don't need and give the dog a little bit of a definition with the color. Here the challenge is to maintain the structure of the dog but also make him look fluffy, and I have to think of the balance when doing that, because it's easy to make the dog look overly fluffy without any bones, but it's also easy to go the other way and just simply make it look kind of balding. I'm going to use a variety of different pastel shades, so they will vary from a light ochre color to almost dark brown, so that I can get all of those shades of golden fur. I feel like here it's easier to start with the darker colors and just kind of mark all of the shadow and where the fur kind of goes in as the form goes in as well. And since the dog has like this funny character, I decided to make the background also very lively and colorful, and I'm going in with this nice navy blue for the couch, adding a little more of a cobalt and light blues in the places where the light needs to be, and of course I'm going to make all of the elements of the background colorful as well. Not only does the marker base kind of give a nice color and a nice start to have any object, it is also really nice to have it as a textural element so that you don't have to apply the pastel absolutely all over the place if you want a good coverage. The places where the dog has a white tummy and white legs and paws is especially challenging because it's, first of all, white on white, second, there has to be structure, and there has to be fur. So there are all three challenges. And that's why I'm using markers and different tones of gray and maybe a little bit of blue. And of course, the texture of the oil pastel to kind of bring out certain shapes and make them a little bit more three-dimensional, so that we can have that sense of space and sense of the fact that these forms are not just one white block, but there are actually forms inside. So as you can see, I'm going back and forth between the pastels and the markers. So from one side, I'm trying to reach all the needed values and colors and textures, and from the other, I'm trying to organize and bring them together into a more defined shape and just have some sharper edges, especially where the dog kind of has the elbows and the knees and like certain like harder structures. And just to kick in even more color into the drawing, I'm doing a bright green background behind the couch. I think it kind of complements the rest of the colors, keeping it very colorful, but at the same time, it's not overpowering like if I were to use red, for instance. So same thing here, I'm adding first the marker, and then on top I'm going with a different kind of green, because even though this is like supposed to be a colorful, simple drawing, I still want the colors to blend in and be a little bit more complicated and tasty. So I am going to use different shades of green. I'm going to throw in some blue in there, and of course later on I'm going to add some reflections from all the other objects in the composition. Even though I am using the entire space of the paper, I don't want to shade in absolutely every single bit, because I feel like it would look too heavy. And I want to keep that light feeling as if the drawing was done in 5 minutes while the dog was actually lying around on the couch. Even though I did use a reference photo, I still wanted to have that life in the drawing, and that is why I like to keep some empty spots and not like shade everything in perfectly, especially when it's just a part of the background. It's like a very supporting role in the drawing. I'm starting to add some lights. I'm using very pale yellow. It blends beautifully with the previously established ochres, and it just adds a little bit of that highlight, that feeling that the sun is coming through the fur, and I think it kind of just brings a bit more life to the drawing overall. I feel like the best way to add reflections is simply to follow the overall outlines of the couch in this case, but you can do that with any other object, of course, and I feel like that adds to the directional strokes and kind of creates like an aura around the object. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you would like me to participate in more challenges and you have some suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, you can just subscribe to my channel to see more content from me, and you can watch more videos over there. And I'll see you in the next one.